Well, hey everyone, you're watching Wired Up Retro, episode number 80, and in today's episode I have a new little discovery to explain, showing you the Sony Analog Joystick released in 1996 for the PlayStation 1. I got my PS1 console, the mini PlayStation, out today, and we're playing some Descent. This controller is called the SCPH1110, and if you look at the label on the underside of the controller, you'll see that it's made in China, and in the lower right sector there's a number, and at the end of it you can see that 01 is there. Well, this is the 01 controller. I've also got a one that's got a 02 at the end of that series of numbers, and that would be, I'm figuring, the second model that came out. There's actually a little bit of a difference between these two models of Sony Analog Joystick, and I'm going to be explaining a little bit about how I found out about that in today's episode. It's kind of an interesting little story. So yeah, I've got Descent up on the screen here. Descent is a awesome little PlayStation 1 favorite of mine. I got this many years ago, and when I was playing this on my PlayStation in the 90s, I definitely wasn't using this controller. All I had was the little gamepad without the thumbsticks. It was just the original gamepad. But yeah, I played through it the entire way, and it's definitely a very good experience. When it comes to gaming, I really like Descent. And you know, it can be disorienting. It can almost make you feel dizzy sometimes. I definitely would not recommend this for people who get queasy looking at you know, different perspectives, or you know, if you're into VR and you feel like you get sick really fast, this is probably not the game for you. But it's definitely a lot of fun. It's definitely a unique game for the time being, or for that time period. It was really, really well received. Oh, it looks like I've got a new part. Let's see if we can destroy some of these baddies, or they can destroy me. All right, so on to the discovery. I'm going to show you a little something having to do with a Nintendo Wii. Now, for those of you who don't own a Wii, never had one, let me just tell you, the main controller is a wand. Basically, it's got motion controls inside, and you can actually hook up to the Wii remote the Wii Classic controller. This is the second revision. So if you do that, you connect it with a wire, it will submit a wireless signal, and you can actually you know, pick out which one of these icons you want to go to. And I'm going to pick this one. This is a game that I put in called Minicopter Adventure Flight. Okay, helicopter game, here we come. So basically what I'm going to do is unplug this from the Wii remote, and I'm going to toss this away, and I've got an adapter made by Mayflash. It's a PS2 controller adapter for Wii remote. So let's go ahead and get this out of its packaging. And I will plug this, actually I'll plug the, not this Sony Analog Joystick in, which is model number 01, but model 02 is going to get plugged in, which I have here. Model 01 has been confirmed as not working when you plug it in to this adapter, which I've got, and the Wii remote. But the adapter, when it's plugged into this particular model of joystick, it works. Now, I learned about the compatibility of this adapter quite a few years ago, and the source was racketboy.com. They had a PSX dual analog guide, or FAQ, and so they featured this special controller, and there's the adapter telling us that it was specially compatible on the Wii. So anyway, I just thought I'd mention this. CRT Gamer was the one that figured all this out, so I definitely want to give him credit. All right, so I'm going to put this. Over here. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to basically try to land on heliports, and this is supposedly you know, like a medical office or something. I guess it's just something to do, right? There we go. Landed on the first one. I can shoot that. There we go. And trying Trying to hover and move forward at the same time. Yeah, there we go. So you get the idea. For a Wii game, it's definitely challenging. I mean, it kind of seems like it's a kid's game, but I'd say this would probably be pretty challenging for, you know, 6-year-old or somebody like that. Maybe it'd be okay for a 10-year-old. I think for me, I am definitely getting challenged by this game. All right, there we go. All right. And then there's another heliport down here in that cupboard. So let's go on over there. Nope, not yet. There's one of them. Yeah. I have to. I think there's a heliport in there. Yeah. There we go. Now I can go forward. Land on that one. Okay. All right. So definitely there's going to be some Wii games that'll be very compatible with a 2-stick setup like this. And then there are some that probably won't work very well, but you know, it could be a nice option for your Wii gaming system. I'm also thinking maybe it would be a really awesome option to try to play on other game systems using that special adapter. So yeah, I'll start off with our core system as the PlayStation 3, and you're going to need 2 adapters. Firstly, you're going to need the PS2 controller adapter for Wii Remote, and then add to that the wireless Wii Classic controller to USB adapter, and you'll get PlayStation 3 compatibility with the dual flight sticks. All right, so let's head over to the Xbox 360, and with this console, you would use a Cronusmax Plus as your secondary adapter, but again, you're going to need to use your core adapters as well as that Cronusmax Plus. So these are always primary, and that would be the secondary adapter. The same applies to the PS4. You're going to take that Cronusmax, and you'll be using it in PS3 to PS4 mode, and you're going to use those 2 primary adapters just like you had on the Xbox 360. And for the Xbox One, again, same thing. You're going to use your Cronusmax, and you're also going to use those 2 primary adapters. And then on the Nintendo Switch, you will not only use the Cronusmax Plus, but you have to use an additional one called the Magic S Pro. That, when they're combined together, can be used with, again, your core 2 adapters. So see the description below. I've got some other details that need to be spelled out here. Now, when I first found out about the Wii and the compatibility with the analog joystick using this PlayStation 2 to Wii Remote controller adapter, I immediately went and plugged this in to my adapter, and version 01 was the one I had at the time. I didn't have 02 at that time. It did not work, and so I was very perplexed. I was thinking, why would he write a whole article saying it would be compatible when it's not? I put it in digital mode, it wouldn't work. I put it in analog mode, wouldn't work. So anyways, I thought, well, this is definitely weird. But then a friend of mine, Darren Griffin, who runs Warp Zone here in Central Columbus, actually sold me the version 02 of the analog joystick, and I ended up trying that with the Wii, and lo and behold, it works. So that made sense to me. And so a few months later, I chucked the Wii, and I thought, well, let's try this out on PlayStation 3 using this adapter, the wireless Wii controller to USB adapter. So you plug that right in here, and your 01 model or 02 model gets plugged in here, and lo and behold, this suddenly gets everything working on the PS3 with both controllers. Okay, so basically they're both compatible. It's pretty amazing. And at that point I thought, well, maybe I should try it on the Xbox 360. So I took my Cronusmax Plus, actually plugged this into it right here, and I set this to be a PS3 to Xbox 360 controller adapter, and this submits a wireless signal to its dongle, and lo and behold, both worked. And then I also used this on the PS4, the Cronusmax Plus, and I set it to be a PS3 to PS4 controller adapter. I did that by going to my laptop and pre-programming it using its proprietary software called Cronus Pro. And lo and behold, this also allowed both joysticks to work. Then I got the thought that, well, maybe I better take this adapter, which is the Magic S Pro, and I plugged that into my Switch, and then plugged this into it. this isn't submitting a signal that's going to the switch. This is the switch adapter, but this accepts Xbox 360 controllers. So I set this to be a PS3 to Xbox 360 controller adapter, and when it submits that signal in, you plug this in, all of a sudden both joysticks work on the Switch. So anyway, I just thought I'd explain this and how I found out about it. I think it's pretty cool. So I've got a few games to show you guys on all these systems. It's going to be an interesting episode. Alright, so for the PS3 I've got Big Sky Infinity up, which is a twin stick shooter. And this basically has the left stick as move, right stick as shoot. And then just tapping the X button, well, circle actually, on this controller is going to activate the drill. And that should do it. Okay, let's see how it goes.
Let's rock and all roll.
So what we have here is basically a side-scrolling twin-stick shooter. It's a shoot 'em up, and there's going to be a lot of bullets headed your way. Your ship has a very big gun, but it peters out. Sometimes you get a pea shooter, and then other times you build up enough energy, and then you're going to be shooting out with the major weapons. The ship in the initial stages of the game isn't really built up to withstand a lot of abuse and have a lot of awesome weapons, but, well, there is an awesome weapon, and I'm just starting the game out, so, yeah, I mean, it's definitely fun. Look at the colors. I mean, this thing is gorgeous. What an awesome shoot-'em-up game, and I think it'll keep your attention because each time you enter a new level, it kind of randomizes what you're going to experience, so it's definitely unique. You don't have to do a lot of memorization of patterns. This game is really more about just dodging and weaving and just being good at twitch shooting. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at PS3 NHL 09. Now, when you think of twin stick shooters or twin stick gaming, you're not going to really immediately think of hockey, but this is actually a twin stick shooter. So as you can tell with the left stick, I'm doing the aiming, and the right stick, this is kind of a practice session here, does the slap shot. And so, yeah, it's just a matter of using two arms and being ambidextrous. So there we go. Oh, I missed. Well, sometimes you're going to have to miss when you're practicing. You know, I did a lot of practicing to prepare for this video. So here I am. I'm entering my first real game of NHL 09. Let's see how this goes. I'm the Red Wings. So let's see if I can actually play hockey on a video game. Yeah, so really what they want you to do is to do passing between players so you can kind of confuse the other team enough to get a puck right into the net. But yeah, it's definitely a little tricky to pass. I was just trying to go in there and get close to the net and just jam it in there, but time and time again it was thwarted. Now the other team, oh, they could just throw it right in there. And look, oh, they're so happy, and look at me, I'm all dejected. Oh, sad situation. Anyway, yeah, and they kind of throw it in your face with the other team gloating and feeling all happy. Now, another thing this game has in it, you know, if you keep losing, like me, sometimes you just get really, really frustrated, and you kind of want to just throw hands, you know? You just want to get into a hockey fight. So once in a great while, you get to have a hockey fight in this game, and there we go. So it's going to show the controller buttons that you press. I realized, okay, to punch, you press that one button. So here we go. Oh yeah, down he goes. Yeah, you're talking smack to me. You're going to get smacked. Anyway, fun game, definitely challenging. All right, Nintendo Switch, Everspace, here we come. This game is definitely a really nice Nintendo Switch shooter. It has a nice frame rate. I think it's gorgeous. It definitely has amazing controls. You know, I'm definitely putting my mind to the task with these two sticks being utilized. It did take some practice to get into this game, but I really do enjoy it, and it kind of reminds me of, you know, a Star Wars type game. Definitely fun. All right, another outer space game is Curved Space, and this is on a lot of different consoles. I'm playing this on my Nintendo Switch with my Twinsticks. This is an actual twin-stick shooter, and what you have basically coming at you most of the time are basically space spiders, nasty-looking creatures, but your ship has the ability to just not only send out projectiles, but you've got kind of this photon beam, or I'm not really sure what it's called, but it definitely has a lot of power to it, and you can actually ram enemies if you've got them caught in your little beam like I have right here, and then you can just ram them and they'll just blow apart. It's kind of satisfying. I definitely enjoy this game, and it is a twin-stick shooter, not really that far different from Robotron 2084. You're just using the same kind of controls as the old arcade favorites. Pretty fun. All right, next up is Reflex Unit 2. And this game is definitely going to remind you of an old PC or PlayStation 1 game if you were playing games back in the mid-90s. Future Cop LAPD comes to mind. This game kind of has that three-quarters perspective, or you could say overhead view of your shooter. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it kind of looks like a tank. Definitely challenging game. I had to get cover quite a bit. I was playing for a while and just getting blown up really regularly. But after I kind of learned to take cover, I got a little better at it. And it's definitely colorful and nice to look at, and very good to control. Again, it's kind of got that classic gaming twin stick approach where the left stick moves where you're going and the right stick aims your gun to go in whatever direction you want to shoot. So it's like Robotron 2084 once again. Awesome. I really like this game. It's definitely got neat environments, and it's fun to look at and control. Next we have a game that's very unique. This game, if you look at it on the surface, you're thinking, oh, it's another Tempest game. And you know what? The guy who did Tempest 2000 on the Atari Jaguar is behind Space Giraffe for the Xbox 360. And this is actually a twin-stick shooter. The left stick, basically just makes your little character there on the screen go left, right, or up, down, whatever. But the stick on your right is shooting kind of at angles, so you can kind of angle your shots, unlike Tempest. This is really not Tempest. It's got some similarities in some ways, but it's also different. You've got these little flowers that kind of grow up from beneath, and when they reach that top rim, you can't go beyond them until you get the jump power-up. And these power-ups are like, in a way, kind of like Tempest 2000's power-ups. And you can, do things like jump. You can get a better weapon. It's definitely a lot of eye candy. It's kind of a bit much, but I tell you, I kind of personally like this game, and I like that twin stick approach that Jeff Minter used. It's pretty nice. All right, now we're going back to the old days, the 90s, Virtual On. Now this is the sequel to Virtual On Oratorio Tangram. And so it's available on the Xbox 360, and with twin sticks, just like in the arcade, you're going to get nice control. These are not twin sticks, by the way, that are digital, where they have a clicky left, right, up, down, like you would find in the arcade for Virtual On. But these twin sticks are more for analog purposes. They don't really click. So in that way, it's not ideal maybe for this game, but it is still workable. And as you can tell, I'm kind of getting somewhere here, and with a lot more practice, I'd probably be just spectacular. But yeah, I just have to walk up to him and knock him over the head. He'll get clobbered, and I win. It's not good. It's a fun game, definitely. Nice control and fun. All right, now we're going way back to the early 80s. Discs of Tron. This is an arcade game that had a spinner and a joystick. So I'm actually just using twin stick approach here, with the right stick doing the aiming of where you're going to throw your disc, and the left stick actually moving your man around. So it works, and it definitely is kind of an awesome, fun game. You got to angle your shots. In a way, it's kind of like a breakout game or Arkanoid type game, except with a 3D look about it with an actual people, or you could say users and programs. Anyway, I definitely like the game, and it's totally fun. And in this level, you'll see that he's going to be fighting me with not just discs, but there's this little electrical impulse thing that comes up to me, and I have to keep blocking it. I think you'll see it here in a sec. I was kind of surprised, but I ended up doing the blocking like I was supposed to, I think. Yeah, there it is. That electrical impulse. Just bouncing it off away from me. And I'm like, oh, I gotta hit that guy. There he goes. He went down. All right. The next Xbox 360 game I want to show you is Halo Spartan Assault. And again, this is another overhead shooter, and this one has a Halo theme, which I really enjoy. I've always liked the Halo games. The weapons are fun, the vehicles you get into are fun. As of right now, I'm just running around and shooting the enemy, and you'll see me occasionally lobbing a grenade or commandeering a large gun emplacement, which is coming up here in a sec. This is really a gorgeous game to look at. Back in the area of 2006 or 7 or 8, such sharp graphics were just amazing to me. And even to this day, I'm looking at this and I'm like, whoa, this is looking really sharp. Now, I'm actually playing this on my Xbox One because it's one of those backward compatible games. But yeah, it just looks really, really sharp. I'm going to go around here and take him out with a grenade here. Yeah, get up there. Boom! There we go. Yeah, that was a pretty powerful punch there. Anyway, it's a really cool game. If you haven't played it before, it's just again another standard twin stick shooting approach, just like Robotron 2084, and I think you would enjoy it if you tried it. And on the same theme, Halo Master Chief Collection, let's do a little Halo 3. Why not, right? So this game has the most awesome vehicles. I really do love the Scorpion tank. And you'll see a little bit of that, as well as getting up in the air in one of the flight vehicles. So anyway, I'll just let you just take in the nice control that this game offers. And you can also get in a Warthog with the twin sticks and control that pretty nicely. This really does control a lot like the Warthog, Jeep or the Hummer vehicle. This level is so fun. And the music, oh man, I love the music of Halo games. Such fun. And extra awesome with the twin sticks. I'm really grateful Sony made the analog joystick. I mean, it's such an awesome piece of equipment to have in my arsenal of video game fun. It's a monster of a controller, but definitely well worth having in the collection.
I could use a ride.
All right, so let's try taking off with a flight vehicle here in Halo 3. I've got a vertical takeoff and landing vehicle known as the Hornet, and this is definitely a pretty fun level of Halo 3. We've got capability to attack from the air with missiles, pretty much unlimited missiles is what this vehicle has. And of course you could just shoot as well with the machine guns and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely got a lot of power, and it's a really surprisingly powerful vehicle for how small it is. Halo has such amazing flight levels. There's a boss ship straight ahead of me. I'm going to have to take out his left and right guns. He's even got a middle gun. I got to take that out before I can blow him up. There he goes. He's down to the count. Another thing I like about Halo games is that you can actually take your vehicle down to the surface, land, and hop out. And this is Master Chief. He's about ready to run and gun here. And he's teaming up with the some of the Covenant or ex-Covenant forces. Playing with the Twinsticks. Basically, Halo shoot 'em up. This is fun. Definitely a hilarious way to play one of these shooter games. All right, now we're playing Atari Flashback Classics on the Xbox One, and this is Volume 1. And this is definitely a wonderful twin-stick shooter, Black Widow. And basically the idea is to shoot what you can, and when one of your victims succumbs, you go and collect what they leave behind. I think that's your reward, is you get points for going over to where the body is and collecting what's there. And of course there are some bugs that just can't be shot and can't be destroyed, and you got to watch out. But yeah, that worked out pretty well there. Fun game. All right, now we're on to PlayStation 4. We have a classic, Geometry Wars. A lot of people love these twin-stick shooters. This is, I think, the third iteration of Geometry Wars on the PlayStation 4. So again, it's just classic gaming controls with the left stick going taking your ship where you want to go, and then the right stick doing the shooting in different directions. Now, I'm sure many of you have played Geometry Wars. It's definitely pretty much a twitch shooter, and challenging. It definitely took me quite a few tries to get to this point where I could kind of do this well, and it's pretty rewarding. It definitely is a very fun game to play. I would definitely recommend, if you haven't tried Geometry Wars, give it a shot. It's a whole lot of fun. These super power-ups with these wide-shot guns, it's a big rush is what it is. All right. All right, now we're on to an actual Star Wars game, a flight game, Rogue Squadron VR. All right, so when using this on the PlayStation 4, what I found is that in some games where, let's say, you're going to need the push-in thumbstick action, let's say L3 button or the R3 button, this doesn't have that. You can't just push it down and get a click. So what are you going to do for that kind of game? Well, let's say right now I'm playing Star Wars Squadrons, which is a VR game on the PS4. I actually can hook this Xbox Bluetooth controller, it's an Xbox One controller, to the Magic S Pro adapter. Just tap the little button on the side of it, it blinks with a blue light, and then I can set this into search mode and they'll connect, okay? So now you've got the click-in buttons, and just set that aside in case you need to use the click-in buttons. You can also use this on Everspace on the Nintendo Switch, which again has a use for the L3 or the R3 button at times during that game. So I'm just letting you know, you do have options here thanks to that Magic S Pro adapter, which has that connection ability to not only connect with this controller but simultaneously connect to another controller, which we're choosing to use Xbox One's gamepad. All right, so let's go ahead and get this headset in the right spot, and here we go. All right. It's pretty awesome. Okay.
Who cares? Our Star Destroyer's in trouble.
Vanguard, good to see you again.
It's pretty sensitive.
Keep those bombers off us.
We're on it, Victorum. Sit tight.
All right, I see some bombers up ahead.
5, intercept
All right,
those
here we
bombers.
go.
We need to buy our...
All right, here we we go.
Ion weapons knocked out our systems. We were defenseless until you arrived.
Get around there. On the other side. There's one. There we go. Got him.
All bombers destroyed.
Relay detected nearby.
Now, Battlezone is definitely a very fun VR game on the PS4. And yeah, I need a little work on my aim, but boy, it sure is fun when you blow them up. It definitely is fun. This game can kind of make you queasy initially, but after a while you kind of get used to it. Yeah, I definitely found this to be probably one of the most prone to make me motion sick games, but wow. It's a gorgeous game and really awesome for target practice. I definitely enjoy this game. Can't believe I missed it on that one. We'll have to give it another shot here. I think I can take him out. There he is. Oh, get him. Third time's the charm. There he goes. Boom. And now for my favorite Battlezone version. And we're talking vector graphics here. The VR original Battlezone. Such an awesome, awesome VR experience on the PS4. You know, it's been a long, long time since there was a console version of Battlezone made available, or a PC version for that matter. This is definitely the most recent one that I'm aware of that you can play. And it's just so awesome that it's in VR. Kind of reminds me of putting that big face viewer on in the arcade to play the original Battlezone. Except, well, this is really cool. I mean, amazing to be able to turn your head and see where the tanks are and the saucers are. All right, get him. There we go. Took him out. I hope you guys are having a lot of fun watching this. I definitely had a blast playing these games today. This was quite an amazing episode to put together. Twin stick gaming is so fun. And you know, even if you don't have the big gigantic twin sticks, you can always grab a DualShock 4 and enjoy that twin stick goodness. Well, that's about all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, definitely give me a thumb up. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, definitely click that. Click the bell so you can see every episode. If you haven't seen my other episodes about Sony's Analog Joystick on Wired Up Retro, I'm going to show you a link above to episode number 60, which had to do with two methods that got this working on current day systems like the PS4. The thing is, it was a pretty convoluted method using a number of adapters. And today's episode was really more about doing a more elegant method of getting it adapted with fewer adapters. So anyway, if you do want to go back and see the first time that this was used on current day systems, you can check that out. And also watch episode 61, which is a very cool video on racing games, including games like Redout and a couple of motorcycle games. I've got a Baja game. I mean, all sorts of games that you can play with this dual flight sticks controller. And let's see, there was one other video I did, episode number 63, where I got this working on the PlayStation 2 fully. Not just, you know, 3 or 4 games, but all the games that you would want to use this with can be made compatible on the PS2. Again, using that kind of more convoluted method. But yeah, maybe eventually I'll get it working on the PS2 with this more elegant method. All right, so now in my next episode, I'm going to actually continue what we were doing today with the primary adapters and get this working on an old Atari system. That's all. I'm just going to leave it there, okay? So it's going to be pretty exciting, never done before, so I hope you guys stay tuned, and that should hopefully be up in the not too distant future, all right? Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in and staying faithful to watching the channel, and I look forward to talking to you guys in the comments below. I hope you guys have a great autumn season out there and winter. All right, you guys take care. Bye-bye.